All right. That being said, I will call the Neary Building Committee to order for June 21st, 2022, and it is 7:03 p.m. Let me just move Denise over here. Given she's the first item on our agenda, I'll let her get up and running. Denise, are you there?
I'm here.
All right, welcome.
Perfect. Am I on?
We saw a glimpse of video for 2 seconds and then you went off. There you are.
Perfect.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Denise, I just pulled you over from the audience, but you're also our first agenda item to welcome you. So if you want me to go to the next one and come back, or are you ready to go?
No, I'm ready. I had a hard time getting on and then I finally did, so I apologize.
No worries at all. Big welcome to Denise. I had the privilege of talking to her before she went before the select board for appointment, and think she'll add a ton to the committee, but think it's best for Denise to give her background of why she stepped up to fill our final resident slot, and anything else you think is pertinent for us to know about you, Denise.
Well, I've been in town for a number of years. I left after I was married and lived in Ashland for a long time, served on the Ashland School Board for 16 years, chaired the board for 5, and went through a number of building projects within the town of Ashland as chairman of the school committee and as a member of the board for 16 years. I was an educator before I was in business and then before I went to law school. So I've had a broad background in different opinions and different agendas. I think what I will hopefully add is the ability to understand the needs of the school from being an educator prior to many years ago, being a school committee member and also being a business person, because I think we have to bring together the different opinions that, will meld into a decision, which that is the taxpayer's dollar, the needs of the school versus doing right by the town and spending the money appropriately. And I've been here since I moved back to town in 2004. And I've been here since. I have one granddaughter in the system who's now leaving and going to the high school, which is unnerving. As of tomorrow, she's no longer a middle school student, but the system has been wonderful. I can't say enough about it. I'm thrilled that she's had the advantage to be in South Grove. It's a great system. I had always thought I would want her to be in a private school versus a public school, but my expectations here are certainly satisfied, and we're thrilled with the South Grove schools. So that's sort of me in a nutshell.
Awesome. Welcome, and perfect timing to join us. Next agenda topic is approval of the meeting minutes from the May 2nd, 2022 meeting. These were circulated. I don't know if there was any questions or comments on them before we take a motion or a vote. I see Lisa with her hand up.
Right, thank you, Jason. Just a couple quick edits. Under section 4, review and vote on presentation for annual town meeting. 4th line down, Lisa Brasher reported the town board. It should be the select board.
I had the same thing, yeah.
Okay, and then under 8, other business, Jason reviewed the advice of town council. That's council with an SEL instead of a CIO. Those are my only 2. Otherwise, they were great. And thank you to Pam for doing them.
Any other comments? Andrew, do you have those for purposes of our submission?
I just got the one on 8. What was the one we had on that one before?
This town board, right after Lisa. It should say select board.
Which number?
4. Fourth or 5th line down.
The town board?
Yeah, it should be select board.
Okay. Great.
All right, is there a motion to approve those with the edits?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, it's been seconded. We need to do a roll call vote. Horacio?
Aye.
Donato,
Aye.
Eddie,
Abstain.
Martin.
I wasn't part of that night.
Understood. Yep. Martin,
Aye.
Pfaff,
Aye.
and Malinowski is aye. So that is a 501 vote by my tally. The next agenda item, and I don't know, I'm sure it seems like this for most of you, if not all of you, town meeting seems like it was a year ago at this point. But this committee has not met and discussed any topics that were raised during that. So our next agenda item is really to debrief. I think we all know the result, which was very favorable. But just if there's anything anyone wanted to raise in this discussion before we really march forward to the next steps, I figured I'd give anyone the opportunity that wanted to discuss further.
I'll say something quickly, if that's all right. I know this isn't what you were probably going for, but I thought you did a great job with the presentation.
Yeah, that's not
and
what I was
answering the
going for.
questions. I know, but I just I have to say it. No, I thought that you fielded the questions very well. I thought the questions themselves were very good questions from the people who were there, and it was a sort of a thoughtful exchange of information, and it made me feel very positive about the process and that how it's being viewed in the community and having the level of support that it had. So I thought it went very well.
Well said, Katura.
Thanks, Katura. Greg, does you have your hand up?
Katura shared my sentiments, so I was going to echo Katura's remarks.
So I will just say my feet have finally recovered after standing up there. Northborough Road was actually a great warm up. So, the one thing I would say I was surprised by was, and I tried to obviously stick to what we had proposed, is there were definitely some, I'm not saying it was a majority or 2/3, that really wanted us to be taking this further than we were. Now, we all know the bounds we have to work in with MSBA. That part was surprising to me, given the feedback we had gotten, beforehand. Again, there was approximately 200 residents in the hall there. And I'm sure if that had been what was on the table, there would have been a lot more objection. But it was surprising to me that there were more than one individuals that stood up really talking about phases well beyond where we're at this point without us doing the feasibility. That was the biggest surprise to me coming out of that. But here nor there, we're following the MSBA process for now until they tell us otherwise. So I think it's appropriate to move on to our next agenda item, which is discussions of the next steps with the MSBA. And I will turn this over to the superintendent to outline the follow-ups he's had with MSBA since that vote.
Sure, we did connect with MSBA to review the next steps in the process. And the response we received was quite simple, and that is that we will be hearing from MSBA in July, sometime in July, around what they expect for an August 1st launch date. So really no information other than we can expect a communication in July outlining the process that we need to move forward with beginning August 1st.
And Greg, if I remember the process correctly, there will be a series of votes and paperwork between mainly the select board. I don't believe there's any school committee action. You can correct me there. That needs to be submitted as part of this process. So, Lisa, do you know when the meeting dates are? I know this is a lighter summer schedule. Is there a August meeting date set yet?
There is, but I don't know it off the top of my head, Jason.
Okay.
I'm going to say mid. That's I can get that and find out for sure. But if there's something that's needed, the board would certainly be willing to have a meeting even to take care of this, Jason. I think that's a non-issue if it doesn't fall within our normal schedule.
I just remember vividly the kickoff meeting that we were invited to on the announcement day, Greg. There was discussion of town council involvement because it's basically a legally binding contract that the town will be signing with MSBA. So I would suggest, specific to the point that you raised on, whenever they call you in July, right, we should probably engage with Mark, town council, and just figure out I'm sure Mr. Tallerman has been through this process a lot of times in the other towns he represents, but just really figure out what his process would look like and figure out whether we go to a regular select board meeting in August or September, or, we probably don't have to rush it either, given that you're supposed to be starting the process, not ending the process on August 1st. But, obviously we want to keep the momentum to the extent possible.
Jesse, can I ask a question?
Sure.
So is this the process of starting the feasibility study?
No.
So where are we at in the process of the feasibility study then, now that we've got funding?
So we're in eligibility.
Yeah.
That the August 1st date is the magical kickoff of a up to 270-day period. And the MSBA meets approximately quarterly to move towns from eligibility to feasibility.
Okay, got it.
There is 6 or 7 things, and I can send the link out to everyone after that we've looked at before, because it takes looking at it 6 or 7 times to actually figure out what in the world you're doing. But there's a whole series of things that we need to certify as a town, and or like some boxes to check. There's one item I will come back to, but at least by my count, absent legal review of the contract, which is a pretty form contract as I understand it, that obviously many other municipalities in the state are signing, the only thing left is an educational plan that I'll let Greg, Stephanie, or anyone else speak to of where that's at. But a lot of times towns haven't even gone to town meeting to get the funding before they're in the 270-day window. So I think, our timing obviously was to try to measure the support of the town, right? And I think we got a pretty loud and clear message in that, like the fact that the moderator didn't even have to do a standing vote count, I think speaks to this level of support that was in the room. So that's where we're at. I think we can't speak to when they would bring this in, but I think all we can do is check the boxes that we need to check and do the due diligence we need to. So it probably won't be a lot of work for this committee until we get to later in the fall, is my educated guess. I don't know if anyone would have a differing opinion on that.
Okay, thank you. I'm just trying to get a clear, kind of a better understanding of the process. So that was very helpful. Thank you.
Greg, do you want to speak to, or someone on your team speak to, the status of the educational plan and or what components you may need input on from this committee versus the school committee versus obviously you all as educators and professionals?
Yeah, so I'll just add to your earlier comment that the MSBA board will move as quickly as the community is willing to. So they'll move at our pace. So we have done a significant amount of work, including establishing a Neary building committee, which is probably the first step in the process. We've done enrollment studies. They'll want to do their own enrollment studies. And there's also an educational plan. Some of the work that we did pre-application of the SOI to the core building program, we did some educational planning that will be able to be part of the educational plan that we'll be putting together. And I think the one difference is we'll need a lot more input from educators, principals, and the community around what we're looking for in terms of the next generation of facilities to accomplish the programming that we hope to move forward with in the next 5, 10, 20 to 30 years.
Greg, are you thinking that would be something we would do as a public forum, as a committee, sometime probably in the fall to get into your submission?
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the things, I think that's one way we can solicit input and feedback. I think that'd be very helpful. I think we can do public forums, surveys, other listening sessions. As part of our pre-work, we have, I believe Keith and Stephanie, we do have a couple models of educational plans that other districts have put together. We have Shrewsbury's educational plan, So right now we're getting samples, exemplars that we can kind of build off of, and they don't look overly complex. They're not quite as in-depth as I had imagined in my mind.
Okay. So are you recommending that we set a meeting schedule for the summer, or do you want to wait to get the call from MSBA and chart our path from there?
My recommendation would be to set a meeting either the first or second week in August. I think that would be just would make a lot of sense. And then Jason, when I hear from MSBA, I will reach out to you and share any communications and information that they share with me. I would imagine, knowing MSBA, there's probably an orientation to the eligibility process and what we can expect. And that probably would be happening sometime early August.
Okay. So I don't know, I imagine everyone, we have 9 different schedules this summer is my guess. If I were to, the one complication we have as of today is as of July 15th, absent certain body portions of the legislature have acted, but not the full legislature, including our governor, have not extended the remote open meeting law, which means we can't just have a Zoom meeting. If nothing changes, which it could in the next 9 days, because they like to save everything till the last minute, we would need to have at least a quorum in a room. It doesn't mean you can't have remote participation. It would just mean that 5 of us and the person chairing the meeting have to be in the room, is kind of what the policy says. Others would be able to Zoom or dial in as needed if you're on vacation, et cetera. So what I think I want to try to do is just gauge, the first or the second week of August, who's in Southborough versus not in Southborough, just to see if we even have 5 people in Southborough, and then we can figure out from there where we go. So Andrew, I'm going in the order I see you on the screen. Andrew, do you have a preference on the weeks between the 1st and the 8th?
First and the 8th of
August.
I think I'll be around the first week of August for sure.
Okay. Denise? You're on mute, Denise.
Anytime is fine with me.
Okay. Katura?
I'm around the first week of August, but not the second week. So I could do the 1st, but not the 8th.
Jen?
Yep, I'm around both weeks.
Okay. Lisa?
I'm flexible.
All right. So I think between all of that, it sounds like we have a quorum. We're also missing 3 members right now. So it sounds like we have a quorum just of who's here to be in the room. Katura, I don't know if I'm going to be in Southborough. I'm available for a meeting, but I don't know if I'm going to be in Southborough. So if I'm not, I'll just ask you to chair the meeting and we can keep going to not delay us. I will, is there any date that doesn't, I heard a lot of I'm available, so stick to I know we're on Tuesday this week because of the public holiday yesterday, but go back to Monday nights unless anyone has an objection.
Yeah, Jason, and not knowing what date we set for August for the select board, I would prefer Monday, not Tuesday, any day but Tuesday.
And I know Wednesdays are not good for our school colleagues, so, and advisory. Okay, so let's plan on Monday, August 1st. And I would just ask that those of you that said you were available that week and in Southborough, if something changes, to just let me know. Just so we don't rally around a date. And then, prior to Zoom, I showed up at a lot of meetings that didn't have quorums, just because you had to be in the room. So let's just stay close on that. Is there any other business that anyone wants to raise this evening from the committee? Is there any public comment? We should probably decide on a venue for the meeting now that I think about it, just in case. So Greg, I don't know, school facilities versus town facilities. I would like this recorded. I know multiple locations in the town are set up pretty seamlessly for live streaming. I know the select board, Board of Health, and others have been doing that for months now, I think, Lisa. So I don't know if you're in the same situation or if you want me to coordinate through the town side.
If you coordinate to the town side, that'd be appreciated.
Okay, we'll do that.
And Jason, I'm not sure, I'm excuse me, I'm hopeful, but I know Jay has other owls. Hopefully he can get maybe the public safety building set up, because that's a much easier room for more people. So just a suggestion, and I can follow up with him as well.
Okay. Thanks, I agree. That's a much bigger room, more conducive to a 9-person committee plus our ex officio members. Okay, any other business? Told you to be short. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
There's a
Second.
second. All right, there's a second. We need to do a roll call. Braccio,
Aye.
Donato,
Aye.
Eddie,
Aye.
Martin,
I
Pfaff,
Aye.
and Malinowski's aye. That's unanimous. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks,
Right.
everyone.
And,
Take care.
Have a
See you
good
in
night.
August.
Night,